Hey guys, this is a quick video on how to set up a webhook in make.com for Podio. You'd want to use this when the native integrations with Podio inside of make.com isn't granular enough for what you need. So this is exactly how you go about doing it. You can do it for really any of these. It's the exact same process. I'm just going to do it for contacts, so it's a little bit easier. And when you go inside contact, let's say what you wanted is a make.com scenario to fire when I don't know, the net lead field was updated or the contact date field was updated, right? Let's say we want to do it for contract date, right? So right now, if I were to, change the contract date here, if I were to add in something, nothing happens outside of this. It just changes here. Well, what I want is a make.com scenario to be able to fire when only when this field is changed, not when anything else changes, right? And the way to do that is with the webhook inside of make.com. So what you want to do is you want to go to make.com, you want to create a webhook, custom webhook, and then you want to click add and say Podio test webhook, right? And hit save. Once you've done that, you want to hit save again. So it's done. But basically, what you're going to need later on is you're going to need this URL, right? And you'll be able to copy this using the copy address to clipboard. We don't need it right now. So we're going to close this. We're going to leave it in this tab. And then we're going to open a separate tab. And in this tab, what we want to do is we want to create a Podio call. But we're going to need a couple of pieces of information to be able to do this properly. But I'm going to show this to you exactly, right? So what you want to do is you want to go to Podio, and then you want to go down to make an API call. That's the first thing that you want to do. So that's what I've done here, right? Make an API call. And when you click into it, you're going to need to fill out all these fields. So the method, you want to switch it to post. In the URL, you want to put in exactly this, but you want to get rid of that, and you want to fill that in with something we're going to pull from inside of the Podio webhook section. I'll show that to you in a second. And this URL here, you're also going to want to switch up. So basically, this is what it should look like, and you're going to want to paste in values here and here. None of this will actually be filled in, so you'll need to, pause this video and just copy this all out, but it's fairly straightforward. And essentially, what you're going to want to do is, so for the webhook, we got this guy, so copy the address to clipboard, and that copies all of this. So we can just go back in here, right click, and hit paste. So this part is done. We're good with that. This we're going to need to do something else for. So we're going to go into our contacts, our main contacts, or any of these really, and they'll have a little wrench button here. You want to click that. You want to go to developer, and you want to click developer. So once you've hit developer, it takes you to this screen. And in this screen, you want to scroll all the way down until you can see all of the fields that you have set up. And for your contact record, right? So these are all of the contact fields. And in the contact fields, you can see the names and you can see the field IDs. This is what we need, right? So we wanted the contract date, right? So for the contract date, we copy this field ID, we copy that, we go back into Podio, and we just paste it in here. And that's it for this for now. So then you want to hit save. And then you want to save this, and then you want to just go back in here. You want to run this module only, and then you want to run this one time. And when you run this gets something, and this gets a code. And now this code, so to open that up, you want to go here, you want to click this thing, and you want that code. Because basically what's happened is Podio has now sent a code to this webhook, and you have to verify this webhook received it. So now that we've gotten this, we want to go back in here, or we can actually do it inside of here. We can just do Podio. Actually, no, we'll just do it inside of here. So we click plus, and we go Podio again, and we do make an API call again, and then we want to do post again. And this time we want to put in the following parameters. So what you want here on this second one is you want the method to be post, you want the body to say this, and we're going to fill this part in, and you want the URL to say this, and we're going to fill this part in. And how we do that is we go back to this, we check here. Now, there's a hook ID, which we're going to need. So copy that, go back here, paste the hook ID right here between those two slashes, so it looks like this at the end. And then for the code, we just want to copy the code, and then we want to paste that in here. And now that we've done this, we can just save it, and then we can run this. Cool. And now we've sent this over. And at this point, the webhook should be set up and ready to go. So now what I'm going to do is just test it. So now this scenario is no longer required, right? So what's going to happen when I turn this on, let's say I'm just going to run this module only. So now the webhook is active and it's listening for a change to happen in the contact date field. So I'm going to go back into contacts and I'm going to open up, it doesn't really matter which contact that I open. I've opened up this one. This is all made up data, by the way. In case you're wondering, I just used a template to set this up. But once you're in here, you can click on contract date, and let's say we switch it to Friday the 17th, right? We do that, and I don't think all that matters. We just set it to Friday the 17th, and now if you go back here, look at that, it got a result. Something was updated. So now you might be saying, well, where's actually all the information? All that information isn't sent in the webhook. The webhook just says that field was updated. That specific field was updated, right? What you're going to want to do at this point is, because it sent you an item ID for exactly the item that was updated, what you can do is you can add a Podio, and then you can go down to get item. Yeah, retrieves an app item with a given ID. So you want to click that, and you want to paste in all of the details. So you do this, and you do contracts, because that's what we had this set up for. And then you can do so actually, I'll make this simpler. You'd want to just map it, right? And this way, when we save this and we run this module only, actually, we'll need to run the whole thing again. So let me just save this, and then we can just run the whole thing. So we're running the whole thing. So what should happen is, when I change the contact ID field, the contract date field, it will push data into here, and this will look up that exact contract that was changed. So I'm going to show that to you here, but first I'm going to show you what happens if I change a different field, right? So this is right now, it's running. And as soon as the webhook fires, this will stop. So we're going to go back into contacts, and we're going to just pick a random contact. It doesn't just go in, I don't know, this one, and we're going to add some notes. These are notes. And when we do that, you see the webhook's still running. But if I go into contract date and I switch it to that, and I click off, then the webhook actually stops. And what happens is we can see the results. So this is the item ID for that person. And that item ID was passed along to the get item action for Podio. And in here, it's able to get all of the information for that person. Then, if you wanted to make some changes, you can do another Podio action for whatever you wanted to do, or you could pass this information to some other data field. You can send an email off. Doesn't really matter. Basically, you are just able to log the fact that this specific field was changed, and now you can run some sort of scenario off of that, right? If you wanted to do this with just regular Podio integrations and not the webhook, then you wouldn't be able to get this granular with it. Anyway, I hope that helps and have a great rest of your day.